Conan Noriega. New York hip hop was Wu-Tang. And then Biggie came out and said, you know what? Let's make it pretty hot. You know what? Let's make it throw your rollies in the air. More Money, More Problems was Biggie's song. Throw your rollie in the air was Biggie's verse.
But Ready to Die wasn't pretty hip hop.
If Biggie had lived, he would have been in the shiny suit with Puff and Mace.
Right.
Period.
But Ready to Die wasn't pretty hip hop. Life After Death was pretty hip hop. Ready to Die was not pretty hip hop.
Juicy wasn't pretty. The one more chance, the remix wasn't pretty.
Yeah,
because again, you got to think about what made the radio.
Right.
What made the radio was not the what.
Right.
Warning was on the radio. I'll give you Warning.
Warning was on the radio, but Warning was pretty.
And Juicy and One More Chance remix made the radio. Not the One More Chance that's on the album. One More Chance remix, the pretty version made the radio.
Right. I think we got a rational hate for Biggie. Go ahead, Seth. We got a rational hate for Biggie.
Let me ask you both this, okay? So if there were, let's take Boot Camp Click, right? If they had the same type of access, opportunity, resources behind them, do you think there would have been any change within their sound whatsoever if they saw like the next level in terms of them being able to put money in their pocket? Or do you think they were just so thorough and rugged that they would have just stayed the same?
Personally, I think the sound of hip hop was changing.
Right.
What the West Coast had a sound, right?
Right.
The West Coast had New York had a baseline driven sound. The West Coast had a high driven sound.
Right.
And New York, to Puffy's admission, emulated the Chronic and emulated that sound. And that's the reason why you get it. So from that point forward, New York gave up what made New York, New York. And New York has not been New York since.
You know what separates, you know what separates Puffy from everybody? Puffy used to stay in the club. Like whenever there was a party at Red Zone or at the building or at Latin Quarters, whatever, Puffy was there. And Puffy, he listened to how records sounded in the clubs. So even though the Bad Boy records were shiny and whatever, they were made for the clubs. So when you heard them in the clubs, they was right there. Where people like Premier and Tip and Large and Pete, they was making records just to impress you. Puffy didn't care about that. Puffy wanted his shit to ring off in the clubs. That's what his shit was about. So he would go to the clubs and hear all these 80s records, the Barge records, and all these records pop off in the clubs, and he will go, you know what? I'm gonna bring that 80s shit to hip hop and get guaranteed radio records, but in a club aspect. Mm-hmm. All his thing was for the clubs. That's why all his mixes, even though his records, some of his records was, like I said, was shiny shoot records, but they were banging. Like the mixes were impeccable. They were impeccable mixes. So his thing was the club. Radio was the second thing for him. Clubs was the Benjamins, dude. That wasn't a radio record. That was a club record. That was so he just took it further, and then that pushed the Timbs, because the Timbs thing and all that only rocked for a little bit. After a while, shorties wasn't checking for you if you had dreads and you looked dirty and you had the Timbs. Shorty wanted the nice seasoned haircut, the nice shirt, the pants. Shorties wasn't trying to hit the dirty. That's what, to me, that was part of BCC's thing. Like they lost it because if Wu-Tang could cut their hair, they should have cut their hair, and they didn't. They stayed true to what they believed in, but it was like a bullet for them.
People also discounted what Biggie and Puff represented. When you are really from the hood, they represented a way out, whether people wanted to admit that shit or not. True. They represented some of the people. And they're like, shit, I ain't want nobody wearing Coogee sweaters. I want a nice car. I want to be able to dance.
But again, what we're talking about an image. I'm not talking about an image. I'm talking about a sound. They fucked up the sound of New York. New York was boom bap for a while. New York was grimy hop, and they fucked the sound up. That's what I'm mad at.
But keep in mind, whenever he gave you a Juicy, he gave you an Unbelievable. Whenever he gave you One More Chance, he gave you the What. So he tried to keep that balance with the radio record.
The What was a B-side and so was Unbelievable. So you telling me, all right, you telling me that, you know what, they gave you a B-side with the hot shit on it?
Right.
Whatever, okay.
Right. Now, it's up to your program director to play. He's going to play the A side, but if he, let's see if he's going to play the B side. But if he's not going to play the B side, the mix show DJ is going to play the B side. So it was still a balance there. It just got away from us when radios really started embracing all those A sides and shiny records. That's when it got away from us. So then that's when AZ started following suit. He came with Sugar Hill. That's when Nas came with
Nostradamus and all that shit.
If I Rule the World.
Oh.
Right. So that's when everybody started coming with those types of records.
Great Beer Nation.